You're now tuned in to The Twisted Truth with Corey Wesley, where everyday conversations take an unexpected turn. Entrepreneur, artist, author, and truth seeker, Corey Wesley is here to challenge the way we think, question the norms, and bring fresh perspectives to life, business, and beyond. With unfiltered discussions, special guests, and real talk, get ready for a show that's bold, insightful, and always a little twisted. Buckle up, because the truth isn't always what it seems. And now, here's your host, Corey Wesley. Welcome to another episode of The Twisted Truth with me, Corey Wesley. It's been a minute. You know what? Have you ever heard of creative burnout? Creative burnout is something that I was suffering from because I had started my podcast, right? And I went all in. I was recording, I was taping, but I also was trying to learn how to, do everything, record, have the video going. I was just learning how to do all these components, right? And honestly, it was a lot, but I was in a groove. And I am the author of Empower to Lead, Building Confident Leaders and Teams. And I had to go to my book because there's a section in chapter 5 that I wrote about, and it's called Growing Empowerment, a Slow and Steady Approach. Empowerment isn't something you can fast track, especially when it comes to spreading it across larger teams, organizations, and communities. It's a slow, deliberate process that takes time because it requires focused attention on smaller, centralized groups before it can ripple outwards. The truth is, you can't empower anyone at once. And if you try, you risk losing the real impact. And I had to then convert that to myself because I was going so fast. I mean, I was in it, let me tell you. And I then got to this chapter and I said, wow, I have to really slow down because I was burning myself out. I was excited, one, to create the podcast, right? And it was really at first exciting, and coming up with ideas. And then obviously with these algorithms and all these things, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos. A lot of YouTube videos about people telling you, don't do this, do that, do this, do that, do that. And obviously, once you start hearing all of that information, it starts clouding your mind. There is something about information overload, and creative burnout is part of that, because you want to do a good job. Obviously, if you're committed to your craft, if you're committed to what you believe in, right? It is going to be slow. I am an artist. I create art and everything is slow. We watch these influencers, we watch celebrities, and we see them popping off, right? And you're like, well, what's taking so long? But sometimes, in real honesty, some things, I always say fast money ain't good money, because you have to really understand your platform. You have to understand what your goals is. I always talk about intention, and I had lost because I was draining myself on trying to understand YouTube. Yes, you want to do things, obviously, when you are setting up a business. I always say, if you ain't making money, it's a hobby. But in the beginning, and somebody told me that, right? And now that I'm even saying it, I don't even like that saying because in business, sometimes you don't make money for the first 2, maybe 5 years. You're in the hole. Especially if you keep, you know, working towards making money. In the beginning, you're going to spend a lot more money in business than you're going to make money. but you have to believe. You got to put in the hard work. You got to understand your craft. You have to, just like with my art, let's say, for instance, I didn't have a niche yet. And obviously, when you're creating a business, you're creating stuff, they say, for people that you're solving a problem. And art isn't really solving a problem, but it's actually creating conversation. And like my art, it is very unique because I use faces and I manipulate them and I challenge social norms with my art. And so that's my intention. But I didn't get to that right away. And so I am so gun ho all the time. Okay. Where I just be like, do it. Like I'm on a speed train, right? And then you get to these roadblocks, and then you kind of you feel defeated, as I would say. Let me just be honest. I felt defeated because obviously you don't see progress. You don't see things moving as fast. You want support from certain people that you're not seeing. They're not sharing your posts. They're not buying your products. They're not, talking about you. And it's it's kind of uncomfortable when you feel like you're doing everything you can in your business and nothing's happening. And that's where I feel creative burnout comes into play, is because you're so excited and you're doing, and you're not seeing results. And I always feel like creative burnout is also because you're excited about your product or your project, and you want people to be just as excited. And I feel like that is true to a certain point, but you have to be excited about your project. And if you keep that momentum going, and it's the small um accomplishments along the way, because remember, or just try to remember that when you are in the process of creating, you're also learning. Okay, because being creative doesn't always translate in business. Okay, there is some skill sets that you need to have in business. You may not know how to negotiate. That's one. You need to go on YouTube. I used to be a corporate trainer, and I used to train negotiating skills, conflict management. And that's why I wrote this it's quick read. This is a quick read. It's available on Amazon. Get it. It really helps out. I talk about leading with emotional intelligence, the heart of empowerment, because we have to empower ourselves. I think when creative burnout happens, you're not empowering yourself. You have to learn how to empower yourself. You have to slow down. You have to breathe. Okay. And remember, things that come fast, they go fast. Okay. So, and it's a, it's not, it's the journey, not the destination. Although, yes, you want to make business. Everybody talks about, oh my God, I want to monetize. I want to monetize. And see, me, I wanted to just I wanted to share my thoughts. I've had great experiences. I've created different brands. I've had Whoopi Goldberg, Kendra Wilkinson, and t-shirts. I created a t-shirt company. I've had an online magazine. I've written 5 or 6 books. Um, I've recorded music under my persona, Rex West. I wanted to take all these things that I have done and share it, because what is it going to do for me? I did it. And yeah, some of it made money, some of it didn't make money, but I did it. I learned a lot. And so I wanted to share because I felt like, and growing as a professional, as a creative, you have to be able to not gatekeep, as they sort of speak. You have to be able to share without fear. I think people gatekeep, or as they say, gatekeep, because they're scared that somebody's going to surpass them, or they're not where they're going to be. And I used to be that way. I used to help people, and maybe they were more financially able than I was, or whatever. And I share something, and then all of a sudden I see them doing stuff better than I'm doing it. And it's something that I've learned, that you need to be happy for people. And again, the information that you share with somebody, if they succeed off of your information, that's a win for you. That is totally a win for you. And I never saw it that way. And so that's where I'm saying, when you are starting out and are maybe experience creative burnout, you have to maybe step back. It's okay to take a break. I mean, I will say that I took a couple of weeks off of, I was doing videos twice a day. And my best friend even said, Corey, you need to slow down, get back and get into a process. Maybe once Tuesday and Thursday, do a video. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, but I gotta get these things out. Lo and behold, guess what happened? I burnt myself out. I just didn't want to do it. And see, you don't want to, when you're so excited about something and you have the opportunity and now you're doing it, and it's exciting, it's new. I look at it now, when this morning I was sitting there and I said, I need to do a video. And I had to push myself. And then that's when I picked up my book, To Empower to Lead. I had to lead myself. And there it goes. I then had another skill set, how to motivate myself, but also understand and reflect on what I did wrong. I was rushing through this. I believe in a higher power, and I believe that all these tools and everything came when they needed to come. But I was just so gung-ho that I forgot that I wanted to have fun with it. I lost the fun, and I really wanted to, I had to go back words to go forward, and I had to realize that I had burnt myself out, and I had to motivate myself again, and I have to also listen. Sometimes people, I know we don't want to be listening. I used to train on effective listening. I had to go back to that skill too. That effective listening is important. And sometimes we have to know, you can't listen to everybody. Okay. Let me preface that right away. You can't listen to everybody. Everybody has your best interest. You got to look at where the information is coming from. And my best friend was right. You need to get on a schedule with this. You gotta, do your little one video on Thursdays and Tuesdays and see your progress. I was just rushing and doing, and I lost sight of why I was doing what I was doing. It's all well and good. You want to monetize. That's great. But everybody's journey is not going to be the same. And I was starting to drown myself by looking at people, listening to them. I need to just, if you have the idea, right? And it was given to you from a higher source, do you. Do you. Like, I'm doing me. Now, hopefully it's going to resonate with some people. And I mean, I have had people in the past, when I did these videos and stuff, they're like, you so good. You should be on the radio. Oh my God, you're so funny. And I have to also believe that those were the empowerment. That was the cheerleaders that I needed at that time, that I needed to bring forward. Even though they may not be my cheerleaders right now, they were there and they did empower me. And I had to take that and just know that that is true. I am funny. I have a lot of knowledge. I do have information to share, and somebody's going to listen. If they say, if you build it, they will come. Well, you have to believe in that. And my creative burnout was because I lost sight and all that. But what I was also going to say is, take a break. If you find that you have got to the creative burnout and you're losing sight of having fun, learning, because again, this is all skill set. Think of your resume. People don't know how to do this stuff that we doing. I know how to do recordings. I know how the lighting. I know how what softwares are out there. I learned so much that if I needed to go into a business setting, I'm very fortunate that I work for myself. But if I had to go back to working for someone else, one, I know that I'm looking for a high powered job that's going to pay me money because I have so much skill set from social media posting, from SEO to looking at searching search console on Google. I've written books. I've recorded music. I have so much skill set that translates into a business that I have so much to offer someone that one person may walk in with one skill. I have a plethora. And the reason why, because I was doing something for myself and I was looking at it as, I was learning. Remember, being creative is great. Being in business is another thing. And sometimes it's hard to mold the two. And that's where I feel like creative burnout comes into play when you are trying to build your creative into a business. That's the challenge sometimes. So, excuse me. I want you to really consider buying my book. It's called Empower to Lead, Building Confident Leaders and Teams, a practical guide for managers, individuals, and communities. Because you have to learn how to lead yourself. It's a myth that, people are going to try to coach you. And I always say, and don't do what I did. Look at some YouTube videos, get the basics, but then just do, and then once you get to a roadblock and you don't see progress or you don't see something, then you maybe go in and see what you might can add or change. But until then, the beginning, just do you. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. I think that's where my burnout came from too. I was worried about what other people were doing and what other people were saying. And oh my God, nobody's watching my videos. And then I was getting all these posts like saying, oh my God, congratulations, you had this many downloads. And then that was exciting, but then I got nervous. Creative burnout is also when you get nervous. I'll tell you one little story. I created a vision board a long time ago. I ain't believe in vision boards, and I actually have to start creating another one. But my vision board, years ago, I put it up, and things start happening really fast. Scared the heck out of me. I mean, totally scared me. I had to take it down because I felt like I wasn't ready. Things were happening, and then I was like, "Oh my God!" People were asking for certain things, and then that required more money, and then I got scared because I was like, "Oh my God, I don't have that money," and oh my God, people don't realize that when you're investing in yourself, it costs a lot of money for all these platforms. That's why people ask for donations or ask you to pay $3 a month because this costs a lot of money. But I had that vision board. I took that down and it scared the heck out of me. So my point of that is that, you have to be prepared to learn. Creative burnout is also fear when success is happening. Because you then have to say, oh my God, am I going to be able to create another thing? Am I going to create another thing? Like with my art, I'm like, oh my God, these are fabulous, but am I going to be able to have more ideas? Because what's happening is you're freaking out for the wrong reasons. Success is going to be scary. Don't be scared. Don't burn yourself out. Don't do me like me rushing and trying to get everything done so quickly because it's a learning process and you're going to gain so much more. And I hate to say, even if something doesn't work out, pivot. I'm very good at pivoting. Sometimes you have to change the process. Maybe you have to change the goal a little bit. Keep your idea, but maybe it needs to be tweaked. Maybe you need help doing something. Maybe you have to read a little bit more. Hint, hint. But remember, creative burnout is okay. Okay. It's also for you to sit back, reflect. Maybe you're going too fast. Maybe you are not, there's more information that you need to gather. Maybe you losing sight. Maybe you're going in it, doing it for the wrong reasons. And that's why you're burning out. Just food for thought. As my mother would say, food for thought. I'm not telling you yes or no. All I'm saying is just consider creative burnout is part of the process, but it's also a indicator that you may need to slow down, may need to just, as I always say, love yourself, trust yourself, and believe in yourself. And sometimes we lose sight of our goals because we're on information overload. I know that we have a habit of going online and trying to find information and learn, and that's a great thing. But sometimes everyone doesn't have all good will intentions. I know, and these people who give you bits and pieces of information, remember, they're out to make money. So they're trying to hook you, line and sink you. They might tell you something right, but it might not be right for your business. And I always forget that this person doesn't know me. This person doesn't know my business. Yes, that works for them. And then obviously they always want you to hire them. I'm not looking for you to hire me to do nothing. I'm just trying to share with you what I've learned. And hey, you can take it or leave it, but my intention is just to share. I'm not trying to make no money off of you. That's what I try. You have to realize when you're watching these videos and when they say, oh my God, but you can do this. And then you gotta, on the bottom, you can purchase this and that. They want money. They're trying, and everybody's out to make money. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. But in my take on why I'm doing what I'm doing, that's great if I make monetize, but if somebody learns something from me, that's more important. That actually is truly what I feel that I will benefit from and that I will love to know more about. So remember to like, subscribe, tell your friends about Corey Wesley from The Twisted Truth. Now, what is the Twisted Truth? That creative burnout does not mean that you are not going to achieve your goal. And giving up is not an option. Now, something might not work. You might need to pivot, but what you believe in, you can achieve. I have music out, I've had books, and people convinced me that I couldn't do half of that. And now I could look them in the face and say, ha ha. Love yourself, trust yourself, believe in yourself, and remember to stay blessed because you are already blessed. And thank you for watching. Have a great day, night, or whatever day and evening or whatever it is or wherever you are. Just remember, be productive. I'll see you next time.
That's a wrap for this episode of The Twisted Truth with Corey Wesley. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the show with someone who needs a fresh perspective. Remember to stay curious, stay bold, and always remember this: the truth isn't always what it seems. Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning, and keep twisting the truth. See you soon.